Thad, do you guys have a timetable on how long Mickey might be out? Do you expect him back at some point?
Yeah, we're hoping. I mean, we're just in the middle of the process right now, and obviously we're not able to talk about it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's been great, very, very upbeat, playing his rear end off every day in practice, and obviously he'd like to play, but understands what's going on, and I just like the fact that his spirits have been good, and he's continued to work very hard.
What will you guys be missing then for however long he's out? You obviously won't have him on the floor. What does this team miss without him out there?
Well, there's still so many unknowns. I don't know if I can exactly answer that. I think from what Mick brings is a great basketball IQ. He brings just a understanding of how to play the game of basketball. I think with his size and his strength, I've been very I don't want to say surprised, but blown away a little by his athleticism and just his physicality that he plays with. So I think, from in that perspective, I think those will be the things that we'll miss the most from him.
When were you made aware of Mickey's ineligibility issue? Was it around the same time we were, or have you known about this for a while?
Trying to think. Yeah, I mean, when we got the word that he was going to be out for a while, was when we released it. Okay. We knew that there was something going on, but that's probably been going on for maybe a month or so.
Okay. That going into this first outing, a lot of people are curious about what your team will look like. They're so young, and a lot of unknowns. You mentioned unknowns. Do you have a notion of what you might see, or is it kind of a crapshoot for you too?
It is a little bit of a crapshoot. I'm excited to play. I'm excited to just to see sort of how guys react and what they do. This has been a process of teaching crawling and walking at the same time with the usefulness that we have. But I think that we've learned to practice at a higher level. Probably over the course of the last couple of weeks, and we've attempted to keep things as simple as we possibly can, and trying to get as good as we are or can be at the things that we have in, and then sort of move forward. I don't know if, truth be told, we're ready to actually play a game, but I think this will be good for us.
You had a scrimmage. How much different is this with the lights on, even though it doesn't count as a record, but with the lights on for people watching?
Yeah, I think that it'll be good for our guys. I mean, as I looked at this in the off season, we actually thought about playing 2 exhibition games, but the scrimmages have been good for us. So, last Saturday was a good day. We've gotten a lot better since then, and hopefully the same thing will happen after Sunday. Mm-hmm.
You guys schedule or scrimmage, BG, I think if that's
yes.
right. Coming out of that, any concerns, things you're hoping to see improve when you guys play on Sunday?
I don't know. Can I talk about it?
Sorry, I didn't know if you weren't allowed to talk
I don't know
about
if I can. I know this. We fouled way too much, and that's something we've tried to get corrected and get acclimated to the rule changes and the hand checking. But I remember a couple years ago we scrimmaged West Virginia, and they were going to change the rules, and I think there were 92 free throws shot in a game.
Jeez.
It took like 4 hours to play. It was unbelievable. And and then a week later we were playing normal college basketball again. So, but that was one thing that kind of stood out in my mind, that certain guys were committing the same foul, and just trying to get them to understand, hey, you do it once, you can't do it again.
Right.
Like you said, learning to crawl and walk at the same time, or however it was that you put it up. What have you learned about this team so far? I mean, you said a couple months or weeks ago when we talked to you, there's a lot to figure out and a lot of phases. What have you figured out so far?
Well, I like our size. I like our athleticism. We've got some guys that can score the basketball, that can make shots. Defensively, especially for the new guys, they're still struggling with doing it the right way. You can't shortcut it, and you may be able to shortcut it in a certain situation in practice, but in the games, it's going to come back and bite you. And from that perspective, just trying to drill as much as we can to this is how it has to be done. But I think that's probably been, one of the biggest things is just trying to develop the mindset of we have to do it right every single time, and that becomes habitual at that point, that's who you are.